Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, I want to take some time to talk about a new bill that has been introduced in the House of Representatives. This bill has actually been introduced by a representative from the great state of North Carolina, my home state, and it's called the National Conceal Carry Reciprocity Bill. This bill, H.R. 38, which has already been co-sponsored by more than 200 representatives across the country, would essentially make it possible for law-abiding citizens that possess state-issued concealed carry permits to travel to and within other states. If passed, this bill would essentially make your concealed carry permit like a driver's license. In other words, a valid driver's license in Michigan works in South Carolina, Texas, Florida, and every other state of the union. Yes, you still have to abide by local traffic code and laws and speed limits, but you're free to travel to and within any other state.
But this is not trampling states' rights, because states can still determine what can be carried, where it can be carried. They can set any kind of limits they want about how weapons are carried in their municipalities or their states. If they want to set restrictions about places where you can't carry, even with this legislation, that law would have to be followed. The states retain this right, just like a driver's license.
As someone that crosses state lines almost daily and frequently travels to other states, this is a common sense law in my mind. My hope is that this bill actually gains additional traction in the House of Representatives and is actually taken up and voted on by the Senate and ultimately makes its way to Donald Trump's desk. Donald Trump is on the record saying that he would actually sign a bill like this if it's brought in front of him. So my hope is that this actually happens.
I will protect the right of self-defense everywhere it is under siege, and I will sign concealed carry reciprocity. Your Second Amendment does not end at the state line.
I'll put a link down in the description of this video if you want to read this bill in its entirety, and if you also want to see whether your state's representatives have already signed on as co-sponsors. As I mentioned, that number is in excess of 200 already, and fingers crossed we can get that number higher. Now, here's the important thing. This is not the first time that this bill has been introduced. It was actually introduced and voted on back in 2017. In fact, the bill actually passed by a vote of 231 to 198. The problem was the Senate didn't take it up, so they never voted on it, so it essentially died in the House of Representatives. My hope is that this time around, things will be different. Part of my hope is contingent upon something that I saw earlier today. It was an email that came out from Gun Owners of America. This organization is very active in supporting and defending the Second Amendment, but they sent out an email earlier today that I'm guessing went to their entire membership, basically trying to gain support for this bill. And in this email, it actually links to a website that makes it possible for people to send emails to their individual state representatives, encouraging them to sign on to this bill. I'll put a link down in the description if you guys want to check this out. I personally believe that this is an important bill. I've already sent my communications in to my representatives, one of which already supports the bill because he sponsored it. But this is an important bill, and hopefully you agree and will take some action to support the Second Amendment.